I know there's a lot of excitement about everything that is going on over at Fontana. Because if you haven't heard, they are expanding. They recently acquired Monarch pharmacies, which will increase their footprint by 3 additional pharmacies across Jamaica. They're also launching becoming the exclusive retailer for Fenty Beauty next week here in Jamaica, the exclusive retailer in Jamaica for Fenty Beauty and Fenty Skin. I saw that, the stalls are going up inside the store there at the Waterloo main location. They're also coming to Montego Bay as well. And that's just a few of the things that Fontana has going on lately. So let's hear more from the CEO, Anne Chang. Hi, Anne. Welcome to Taking Stock.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you.
To be here.
Oh, great to have you as well. This is actually your first time on Taking Stock. We've had Fontana before. I think your brother was the representative at that time. That was around the time that you listed. So your first time on Taking Stock. My pleasure to have you. Tell us a little bit about your background. I know this is a family business, but tell us about your background and your experience with Fontana.
Okay, sure. So you can hear from my voice. Even though I was born in Jamaica and grew up here a little bit, I was mostly raised in Canada. So I went to university there. I got my degree. I worked at Bell Canada, which is a very large telecom company in Canada. I worked there for 10 years. I left when I was an associate director, and I had a myriad of jobs. I worked in finance, results, retail, and then I spent a good amount of time in marketing, which is my favorite part of business, to be honest. So I moved back here about 24 years ago. Fontana has been in business for 57 years, and I've been here for 24 years. And then when we listed, which was in 2019, I became the CEO, and I've held that position ever since.
Oh, lovely to have you on. The last time we spoke to Fontana as well, the Portmore location wasn't even open yet. And so now you are well established in Portmore. How has that been going?
So it's been great. And we're seeing, it's taken a little bit of time. The pharmacy always takes a good year. People are very loyal to their pharmacists and that kind of stuff. So it's been slowly building every year, and we're very happy with the results so far. It's a beautiful store. I know Portmore is really happy to have us there. And like I said, the pharmacy has been picking up every single month. We're seeing growth. So we're very happy with that investment.
I was looking at some of the numbers recently as well. I know you don't like to talk about the numbers too much, but I feel like Fontana,
I didn't say that.
I feel like Fontana has earned some bragging rights. Record quarterly revenue of $2.7 billion for the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know what? We have been really proud of how our team has been performing. There've been some tough times, COVID, and it took a long time to get out of COVID. It affected a lot of things, like the long-term effects you saw, like 2 and 3 years. But I think our team was really good at pivoting. COVID hit right after we opened Waterloo, and that was a really big deal. But we are really proud of it. The success is really on the team and how they've been able to manage everything.
What's the split between the retail and the pharmacy side?
Well, I can't really say that. It's kind of, it's like giving up the secret sauce. But, we do a good amount on both sides. Let me just say that. The pharmacy and the front shop. We do a good amount on both.
Sometimes I even forget Fontana is a pharmacy.
I think a lot of people do.
I hate to say because it's in the name, but I think of you as so much more.
I think a lot of people say that. I think it's like Target. That's how they look at us like now at this point. And we've had a lot of debates about dropping the pharmacy name, but at the core, that is our, and always will be, our core business. And that's what the foundation is really based on. But a lot of people don't call it Fontana Pharmacy. They just call it Fontana.
Yeah, my kids love it. I feel like they think it's Fontana with a U.
You know what? I think,
I love going to Fontana.
When I hear moms and dads say that, it makes me so happy because we spend a lot of time trying to cater to those children because we know they're going to grow up to be future Fontana customers.
They get excited whenever I say I'm going to Fontana. They think
We
it's, I
work
don't
hard
know.
to get that excitement.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of pharmacy, though, we mentioned the pharmacy side. Is
Mhm.
the acquisition of Monarch Pharmacy complete now?
So yeah, it's totally complete. So I did want to correct you. You had said earlier in the intro was 3, but it's actually 4 locations. It's 3 in Kingston and 1 in Portmore. So the acquisition is completely done. We shut them down, and we have like pretty specific plans for the 4 of them. We actually reopened Tropical on Friday, kind of a soft opening. We thought that one had the most upside immediately because we don't have a strong presence over there. We're going to be opening Portmore next. And we have an interesting concept for Portmore. If you have a minute for me to tell you about it, we're going to
Sure.
try and do really sort of like a Fontana last chance, sort of an outlet clearance combined with the pharmacy. So you're going to be able to go to that Portmore Monarch location and at any time see deals on like 50, 75% off goods. So it's something that we're trying, and that's going to open this weekend. Then the next one's going to be the Lo Shushan. So we were doing some minor renovations to that, painting it, just freshening it up, that kind of stuff, stocking it out, making some changes to the layout. And then the Sovereign location will actually be closed most likely until May. We're doing major renovations at that one, like full changes, lots of that required it to just be shut down for a while.
Wow, I love those. I love that concept of having that. What did you call it? The outlet location in Portmore?
So we're
Because you
still
already
kind
have
of
the big store in Portmore, so this is your secondary
exactly.
store.
Exactly. So that's why it's going to take a while to figure out their customer base, the proper mix to have them. But we just felt that this was a concept that we think could work there. So the idea is it's still going to be great merchandise, but it might be, say we bought 48 and it's the last 2. So, and it's just a great place to send all of that merchandise so that we can move all of the new merchandise. But it will still have regular price stuff like personal care, all of that kind of stuff. So it'll be a combo mix. So we'll see how that one goes.
I like that. I didn't realize the store at Tropical was open. I was there at Tropical Plaza today and I needed some medication and I looked over. I said, "Oh, Monarch is there." Then I said, "Oh no, but Fontana has it now and they're probably renovate." And I didn't go. If I knew, I would have gone and saved myself
Oh,
an
well, now
extra
you
trip.
know. We actually, and we did want to have sort of a soft one, because uh, we're still we just did a quick fix to it. We were still stocking out. We're still sending stuff, but we thought we were at a good enough place that we could manage the traffic and open. So we opened on Friday, and we did actually just post this week on our social media that it was open. So probably a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure it's going to pick up every day because it's a very heavily traversed location.
Yeah, I'm just impressed with the growth that you guys have had over the past, what, 5 years? I was asking somebody recently what even was at Barbican before it was Fontana. Like, I can't even remember now because it seems like you're just a staple in the area.
Yeah, and it's so funny. We've only been there 13 years. Remember, up until 13 years ago when we came to Kingston, all of our locations, it was Oteria, Save, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. So, and it's so funny now that Kingstonians feel like we've been around forever. So we've been around 57 years, but only 13 in Kingston. But now we're going to have 5 locations there. So it has been a crazy 5 years, like crazy. I can't even begin to explain how crazy it is.
Yeah, I've noticed. We've noticed, especially with the opening of Waterloo, big things happening. So, all right. So, are all the Monarch pharmacies going to be rebranded as Fontana?
Eventually, yes, they will. That's our plan. So the truth is the whole Monarch acquisition and transition to Fontana, the Fontana that you know it right now, that's going to take probably the rest of the year. I mean, to totally renovate and open the 4 stores at the same time would be almost an impossible feat. So we have a good plan on how we're going to get there, and everybody will be able to see sort of the transition and how that happens over the next little while. But it's going to take a little bit of time, work out all the kinks. And like I said, we have to really understand how they're all going to work together, how their customers might differ from ours, what they want. And that's going to take time.
Speaking of those renovations all happening around the same time and this
Yeah,
acquisition, I saw that you guys recently raised $950 million
we did.
through a bond with Scotia.
Yep.
Was that primarily for this?
Yeah, so it was facilitated by Scotia, and it did end up being taken up by NCB and Scotia. It was primarily for this, but you got to think about it now. We have the four stores that we did buy, then we have to fix them up. Then we were launching Fenty, and launching Fenty, we're also opening two other concept stores, Aura. One of them is inside Waterloo, and then one of them is actually a standalone store right adjacent to us in Montego Bay. And it's to curate more of a luxurious experience and also to attract more brands like the Fenty. You know, that's a plan. We're hoping this is just the beginning.
What's a concept store?
So this store, when we say concept store, because it's really going to be for high-end luxury. So when we really went down the road to try and do a partnership with Fenty and with a lot of those bigger brands, they have a lot of requirements that they want. And sometimes a pharmacy doesn't really meet those requirements. So we really had to listen, really had to pivot to try and meet their requirements. And so when you come to our launch, which I hope you're going to be coming to, you will not only see Fenty, you're going to see walls of brand new perfume scents, and some high-end ones like Hermes, Loewe, Narcisco Rodriguez, Carolina Herrera, Armani, Prada. So you're going to be really surprised when you see it. So it's called Aura by Fontana.
Oh my goodness, take my money. I'm going to be broke.
Yeah,
this is not good.
It's so exciting.
But it's good for me as a shareholder. It's good. It's great for me as a shareholder.
Yeah. I mean, we're always trying to innovate. We're always trying to be a market leader. And when you see the store, I think you're going to be surprised. Our goal is, instead of everybody saying all the time, oh, this looks like foreign, like I would like this to be the standard for Jamaica, that this is what Jamaica should look like. So I think when you see this new concept, you'll see what I mean.
So I'm imagining something like a Sephora type of vibe is what you're going for.
I mean, it is. So we have to be a little careful about that, because Fenty is an unusual brand. And when I say that, I mean it has a very broad appeal. Many of the products appeal to many, many people. Some of those other brands, like, people might want one or two. So our goal is to, carefully pick things that are like the Fenty, the scents, which have been doing incredible for us. And to try and get to that place, but definitely listening and understanding what the Jamaican market wants and are willing to support. That's a very important point.
And Aura is entirely your brand. It's not something that you're licensing.
It is completely ours. We came up with the name, the concept, everything. So the idea of Aura is, I'm sure you're used to like that buzzword about having an aura. It has been really big. And then, it means, I think it means to give life, which, when we talk about beauty and scent, we talked about it many, many different names, but we just said, and they kind of rolled off the tongue, the Aura by Fontana, and the logo is beautiful. So when you see it, I think everything that it was describing will sort of fall into place.
What did you say was the timeline on that launch?
No, it's launching next week with Fenty. Same time.
Oh, okay. Now I have to come to the launch.
Yeah, you have to come. So, when you were saying we have so many things going on, I was thinking about it. So it's Fenty, which is a big one. It's the Aura, which we were building out the concept to also have Fenty inside it. It was taking over the 4 Monarchs at the same time. And in addition to that, we are actually overhauling our pharmacy system to really enhance the customer experience. And all of this is happening as I'm sitting here.
Speaking of Fenty, Philip wants to know if Rihanna is coming for the launch.
So, okay, I can't tell you what Rihanna's going to do. That is totally up to her. It's not in our plans right now, but we are going to still have lots of great things at the launches, which are happening on April 10th in Waterloo and April 12th in Montego Bay. It's open to the public. Her brand is all about inclusivity. So this is a launch that's happening in store, not a private event. Everybody that is welcome to come.
Okay, good. Not a private event. I automatically assumed it was going to be a private
You know
event.
what? Because I think that's what Jamaicans are used to, but we're a retailer. you know,
We
um,
make that
it's
money.
so it's all about the customers. Yeah, it's not just that though, and really to see all the products, it has 600 SKUs. That's kind of hard to bring to an event, that kind of stuff. So, we're gonna have a whole day of activities planned. Rush Cam's going to be hosting it. DJ Sparks is going to be the DJ. So there's going to be lots of excitement, lots of giveaways, raffles, gift with purchase, all kinds of stuff planned.
So what time does it start?
So the one in Kingston it's 9 to 5. It's during the day. So that's on the 10th. And then the one in Montego Bay is 10 to 5 on the Saturday.
Are you going to be expanding that offering, the Fenty line, and like maybe even the Aura concept outside of Kingston and Montego Bay?
So our plan is obviously to see how these two go. Kingston and Montego Bay are our two largest markets. So, that's how we kind of do everything. We try to test the market. We try to refine it and then see how the reaction is. So this is a concept for us. We feel it's a great concept. And the plan is absolutely to keep on moving with this if the public supports it.
I saw that you also partnered with JPS to launch the My JPS Hub. I think this is at Fontana Portmore.
Right.
So is this the type of deal that you want to see more of at Fontana? More collaborations, more in-store.
Okay, but we already do that. Like in the Fontana Montego Bay store, it has inside it a quick photos. It also has a Cafe Blue, a full one. So, and then Waterloo already has Candy Craze, Imperial Optical, and Technocrat, which is all tech stuff. So this is a concept and we have paymasters at a number of the locations. So the JPS one, while new with JPS, is a concept that we have had for a long time now. So it's always our plan, and we do have a couple more interesting ones that we are just signing the contracts on. So, but absolutely, the whole idea of a one-stop shop for our customers and it is absolutely in our plans.
Big things for Fontana. Let's take some comments and questions from the audience. Ryan says that Fontana Monarch location in Portmore, the model sounds like the Court's Lucky Dollar model. I love it. Corner the Jamaicans where it's profitable. Then we have Ryan Purcell, a different Ryan, says, how soon will you do an APO to offset the cost of the acquisition? Well, you got the bond, so you don't need to do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We got the financing already.
Yeah, we have all the financing. And remember, we have a very healthy balance sheet already. So we have this, but we already, have this sort of planned and taken care of.
Yeah. Elijah wants to know when we can start investing. Anytime, Elijah.
Yeah.
You don't need to wait on any special offer.
Nope, you can invest anytime.
Since 2019 or
right.
early 2020.
Yeah, because we already hit
our IPO.
Yep, that's right. So you just got to find somebody willing to sell it to you. And the stock's been up on the uptick. We're really hoping that Fenty's going to push it up even farther. We have really high hopes for the Fenty brand. It's something that our customers have been begging us for since Rihanna launched this in 2017. So it's such a proud moment for us. We've learned so much working with them, working with such an international brand. And I think it's going to make us a better company as well. We're taking notes of how they operate, how they do things. As a company that really cares about our brand, I totally understand it. And we hope that this will show more international brands that we can manage and offer, what it is that they need for us to do.
And I saw a statement from you guys probably a couple of days ago saying that you will be matching international prices for Fenty.
Yes. So I did say it would be very close, is what I said. And yes, close. It will be because that is really critical for something, that is small, easy, that you could order and pack up. So we are going to be extremely sharp on our pricing so that there is no need for you to go elsewhere. I'm assuming that you're a fan, and if you're not, you will be now once you come into the store.
Absolutely. Personally, yes, I have several Fenty products wearing Fenty Beauty right
Tell me
now.
what's your favorite. What's your absolute can't do without Fenty product?
I like the the luminous soft lit foundation. I like it for TV, not so much for
Ah,
outside, but it looks great on camera. I like the concealer as well. I think those are my two
well,
favorite,
your
and
makeup
also the
always looks
gloss
flawless.
bomb.
Your
Also, the
makeup
gloss bomb lip
always
gloss.
looks flawless, so I knew it had to have some Fenty in there.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. But you make a great point because I saw a lot of people saying originally, oh, it's gonna cost a whole lot of money because it's Fontana,
Yeah.
and you can always just order the same stuff online. But you also have been establishing a track record. Was it last year that you launched Sol de Janeiro
I,
in
I would
store too?
I'm so glad you brought that up. And I mean, we're trying, everybody also has to remember we have to pay 20% duties plus a lot of other stuff on top of the prices that we're getting. But when we launched Sol, and that was a really important lesson for us, we did come in very close to prices in the US. And it's been extremely successful for us. And so we recognize that with those kinds of brands, we have to. It doesn't make any sense. If you can get it cheaper online through those shipping companies or anything like that, why wouldn't you? But we have the experience. Our girls are going to be, they're all trained with Fenty. They're going to have the expertise. So we're super excited about this.
Yeah, and that's such an important point as well. Forgot what I was gonna ask you again, but I'll take this question from the audience. I had a follow up and it just slipped
Oh,
me.
I'm sorry.
Maybe
I'm
I'll remember
sorry about
later.
that.
Ryan has a great question. Ryan says, "Does Fontana's market value and revenue still fall within the cap for being a junior market company, or is it heading towards meeting the main market criteria?"
No, so we will be a junior market for the 10 years, like what was established. So the first 5 years, remember, was tax free. And then the last five will be 50%. But we'll be on the junior market until we graduate. It's not a problem.
Okay, next question is from Noel. As an investor, what should we look for in the short term? I feel like you said a
I
lot
feel like that's what
already.
I've been telling you. I don't know how
Yeah.
much more we can do. I think what we're doing right now is taking so much out of us. It's going to take the whole year to really build on everything. I expect great things from the Monarchs. That's going to add right to our bottom line. I think Fenty is going to have such a positive impact on our bottom line. And we do have some other things in the pipeline product wise that we're always looking to add new things to help with our revenue streams. Always.
Orlandi says, as a fellow shareholder in Fontana Pharmacy, am I entitled to a discount? Also, are there any plans for increasing dividend payments?
So we don't do discounts just for our shareholders, but we have lots of sales and lots of special things we have our rewards program that's completely free to join. And some of those, every month it's different products, and some of them are like 25 to 40 to 50% off the regular price. And all you have to do is sign up and have a card. It's linked to your card. And you also get money back on every single one of your purchases.
I like the
What was this?
birthday
Yeah,
program.
what was this? Oh, that's right. And the birthday, what was the second part? I answered the first part.
Dividends, if there's plan for any increase in dividends.
Well, the dividends are always a result of how you perform during the year. So that we'll have to see how our numbers end up. I mean, we do have a lot of expenses this year, but we have been consistent in paying out our dividends year after year, and nothing is going to change. I think it'll only get better.
Shell says you will get the discount in dividends.
I love
That's
that.
a good way to think of it. Yeah. Think cashback rewards. I like that. Yeah. The more you
Yeah.
shop, the more dividends you get. Lanesra, good question. How has the online store been doing?
So the online store, it's interesting. It is definitely picking up, and we did actually a large investment in it to make it more user friendly. But what we find, most people use the website, and they'll tell us they go and look on the website to come in store. So we do have the bulk of our website users are from abroad, buying stuff for people here. So that they can ensure that they will buy products, pay for it, and then they can just pick them up in store. And that's what the bulk of our online is right now. but we will be launching a special online Fenty because it's only available in the 2 cities. And if you don't have time, so that probably won't be available right for the launch, but our plan is to have it online. And I do think that we're going to see a lot of uptick from that.
Ah, so you can do on the ground
Yeah.
courier to different towns across the island.
Yeah. We do that now. We do that now. We ship anywhere across the island and abroad through the website. It's fully functional. We have lots of regular customers that buy, especially, like I said, from abroad, buying for family or friends or special occasions here.
I think another opportunity too, I'm sure you're already doing this as well. When you said that most of your online shoppers are from abroad, I thought you were going to say that they're buying the Jamaican products that they can't find over there.
That they do.
Like
That
your
is some
local
of it.
brands, your Etinios and your local beauty products and stuff.
That is true, some of them, but we do have to be careful about what you can ship abroad. They have a lot of rules, especially about over-the-counter stuff. So they do buy that. They buy souvenirs, but they also do buy for relatives and friends here.
Okay. Does Fontana have any plans to expand regionally outside Jamaica?
Can't you just let us just get through this right now? I will say that we are always open and looking for opportunities wherever they present themselves. But is that going to happen immediately in this year? No, it's not. I think we really have our hands full. We've done so much so early that we need to now really sort of refine everything.
Yeah, you guys have been operating on steroids. That's why I had to ask, because I feel like that seems like the next logical move because you're expanding so quickly.
I totally get it. I mean, people ask us all the time, but there's still a lot I feel we can do in Jamaica. And we've seen it. Remember, I said we've only been in Kingston 13 years out of 57. So I feel there's still a lot of opportunity, right here. Now we'll have the 5 locations. Kingston is a special place. They like to shop at Fontana.
They sure do, especially since you opened Waterloo and it just became such a landmark. I've seen many people, it's the first time they ride on an escalator. You bring foreign to Jamaica for real.
It's funny you mentioned that, because when we did that, I don't think we really realized that. And it really has been a draw. We get school tours and all of that kind of stuff. And I mean, that wasn't the intention when we did it. We really did it for a customer convenience, but that is how they feel about it. They're really, some of them, it's the first time they have ever stepped on an escalator. Some of them won't go on it. They're a little nervous.
I have seen that at that store. I've seen people scared to go on the escalator and just completely in awe, standing up there looking at it. And somebody younger tries to coax them to go on, and they're like, "Nope."
It's so, or people trying to take the carts down, which you're like, no, that's not a good idea.
I'll take just a couple more, because this is just such a good conversation, and I love to see local brands that are really building and expanding the way that you have. Trivia wants to know if you have plans to have a store in Maypen.
As I said, we never say no. Is there a plan for this year? No, that's not in our plans for this year. But we're always looking for opportunities, and sometimes you never know when they're going to present themselves.
New complex in Morant Bay.
Not right now.
Okay. Well, that's a hot area for development with the new highway. So yeah, like you said, you're open to it.
Yeah, no, we are. Even Portmore, that was growing so fast. That seemed like the next natural place. It's just booming. So much development, so many customers there. So we're definitely open-minded. We don't say no. We look at great opportunities whenever they come up.
Yeah, the viewers have lots of suggestions for you. So what about having a small location inside Sangster Airport Terminal or Norman Manley?
Yeah, we have thought about the airports. I mean, it's not in our short-term plans right now, and those rates are extremely high. But I'm not going to say no.
Understood. Well, I feel like we've discussed so much, but I'm still going to ask, is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Maybe you left out? Anything else that you
What
would
could
like to
I
share?
mean, I really hope. So I do want to just talk about Fenty again, because we are putting a lot in these two launches and forward. Like, I hope that it's going to be well supported. You know, as Jamaicans, if we want to keep seeing these companies and these brands in Jamaica, we have to make sure we support them. It can't only be when you run out and you want to have it, you know, as a backup. And so that's what I would encourage. If you guys want to see more of these brands land in Jamaica, we have to support them, uh, you know, all the time. And you have to understand that it's very hard to match exactly what's in the US when you have duties and all of shipping that you have to pay for to come in there. And we try really hard to keep our prices down. But I do hope that everybody supports this brand. It's a fantastic brand. It was born out of the Caribbean, as everybody knows. She's from Barbados. And so we have high expectations, and I really hope that Jamaica shows up. If you saw the video, I don't know if you saw it, it has gotten almost 13 million views on the
The one with
Fenty.
the Jamaican nails?
Yeah. So we got our
I
own
was
special one
I
because we were not.
saw it. I saw it. I was like, why is she wearing Jamaican nails? And then I read the caption. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So it was a really big deal. We were not part of the original launch when they came out, and then she promised Jamaica that she was coming, and so that was her own very unique way of announcing it. We were very lucky to get an announcement just for Jamaica, and even for Fontana to get a shout out as a retailer. And as a
Yeah,
result, 13 million views. It was unbelievable, and it just keeps racking up more. So
that's
we're
amazing. So
excited.
I was gonna close it up, but two more questions from the
Sure.
viewers, and this is it. This is it. So Philip wants to know, were the plans for Old Harbor and Spanish Town branches shelved?
No, I haven't said anything that I told you. I haven't said no to anything. We do have a lot of other plans coming up, and we're always assessing, future opportunities.
And this last one, this is in my interest because I live in Mandeville now, and I've been wondering this as well. Oh, that's the wrong
Wrong.
question.
I was
There we
going to
go.
say,
Nicholas, any plans for the original store in Mandeville as it's dated?
it is totally true, and they are really due for a facelift. But then these things come up, like the Monarchs come up, and the new opportunities like the Portman, and you have to prioritize. And sometimes, and it keeps getting down on the list. But it is 100% in our plans to update, as well as the Montego Bay location. And you're right, it does need a facelift to look more like the Waterloo and Portmore stores. So it is going to happen.
Okay, I'm here for it. Thank you so much, Anne. You've given us a lot to look forward to, and
Thank
all the
you.
best. Hopefully, I see you at the launch next week.
I better see you at the launch on Thursday. Remember, it's 9 to 5, so you could sneak out for 1 hour and come and visit us, right?
I have to sneak out all the way from Mandeville, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. All right.
I'll
So
probably
thanks
come in
again
the
for having
morning.
me. That was a
All right.
it was a great talk.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you so much.